So we got to do a D810 video. We just got it. We're in Calgary. It's early July. Kind of a cow town. Everybody's walking around Western wear for some reason. I don't know what to do, Jordan. I have no idea.
Oh, snap, Chris.
Welcome back again, TCS viewers, to the Calgary Stampede. Chris Niccolls here from the camera store. Tonight we are looking at the Nikon D810. Now what we want to know is, how much more is the 810 from the D800? Well, 810 minus 800 is 10. So this camera is 10 more. We're going to show you 10 amazing things about this camera that have changed. We're going to have a lot of fun here at the greatest outdoor show on earth. Come with us. All right, starting it off at number 1. We're getting better battery life. Same EL15, but 33% longer lasting battery life. Very handy when you're shooting all day. All right, it's time for number 2. Overall, better ergonomics and handling. We've got a new grip. It's shallower, but it's also got a larger grip on the bottom. You're gonna find that comfortable if you've got larger hands. We've got a few button changes too. Metering is up here, bracketing is over here like most other Nikons, and we've got an I button just like a D7100. All nice, welcome changes. All right, that brings us to number 3. When we're looking on the back of the camera here, we've got a beautiful improved OLED screen. Over 1.2 million dots. It's very sharp and very clear, and you can punch right in on that high resolution file. The other thing I like too, the optical viewfinder's also been improved. Better coatings give us a brighter, clearer image, makes this camera a dream to compose with.
Number 4. Okay, Jordan here to talk about the video quality on this. Now the D800, D800E had pretty good quality, but they had a lot of issues with moire, a lot of issues with aliasing. With the new processor here, the D810, it actually seems to handle those really nicely. Image is sharp, but we're not seeing as much moire, aliasing. You can find it, but it's a lot more rare. As well, they added a 60p mode to it. D4S had awful looking 60p, really soft. This is quite nice. It's more in line with their entry-level D3300 for 60p quality. I'm quite impressed by that. So we actually shot a little comparison, D800E versus the new D810. You can see in terms of video quality, pretty similar, but definitely less jaggies on the 810. So big improvements on image quality. Number 5. All right, let's talk about the video features Nikon's added. First up, we have Zebra. It's great. You can check where your highlights are blowing even while you're recording a clip. Its sister feature, peaking, is missing in action. I guess they're saving it for the 820 or whatever's next in the line. Would be nice to have, but they've added a flat profile. Now, I love shooting with a flat profile. You can actually see the one on the A7S right now. You can see it looks kind of gross. I would never deliver this, but great thing is you can add as much saturation you want, get more detail in the highlights, get more detail in the shadow areas. Gives you more options in post, and it's really nice to have on a body like this. They've also added auto ISO. So it's an auto exposure mode with video when you want to keep your shutter speed and your aperture consistent. I wouldn't use it much because if someone with a white shirt walks by, suddenly my video gets darker. But if you need auto exposure in a pinch, it might be handy to have.
All right, so number 6 on the list, the Nikon D810 has better autofocusing. It's the same 51-point system as the D800, but with this new Speed 4 processor and some tweaks to the system, we're getting a much faster, much better tracking system for focus. They've also included the group autofocus for the D4S, and as you can see, it works very well when you're trying to capture those moving subjects, so it's a nice improvement. All right, that brings us to lucky number 7. We're talking about ISO performance on the D810 overall. They've got some cool stuff going on here with this brand new Speed 4 processor. First off, I really like the 64 ISO at the bottom. Lets us get a lot of slow shutter speed effects, which is cool when we get this low light, lots of lights going on. Check out our high ISO performance here as we push up as usual from 3200 ISO up to a maximum of 51,200. Now, from what Jordan and I are seeing when we look at files, the D810 is about a stop better than the D800. That's great considering we're still getting a lot of megapixels, the same sensor size, and now this extra push. All right, so that brings us to number 8. It's all about sharpness. Now the D800E, it had an aliasing filter, but it was modified to get a sharp result. The 810, we've taken that aliasing filter out completely. Does it make a difference? Take a look at these two photos here. Now keep in mind, these are shot on the Zeiss Otis 55mm, the same lens, to get the best results possible. The 800E, very sharp camera. The 810, if we're seeing the improvement, it's very slight. So again, it's a welcome change, but it's a very minor upgrade. All right, we're up here nice and high for number 9. The D810's got a much faster buffer rate, twice what the D800 had, so you can shoot for a longer period of time. And that's a good thing because we've also increased the frames per second on this camera. You're now at 5 frames per second, 6 frames per second if you go to DX crop mode, and 7 frames per second if you put the battery grip on the bottom. And the best part, it's the same grip as the D800, so no need to buy a brand new piece of kit. All right, that brings us to our final, number 10. What I love about the D810 is this new shutter mechanism. First off, the mirror is very well controlled, there's no slap. Second, the shutter's been improved and it's incredibly quiet. And that's not all, we also get an electronic front curtain shutter as well. When I'm doing these handheld shots at very slow shutter speeds, it gives me this smooth shot, no shake, no blur, and it really helps to get sharp pictures in the dark. All right, so no more fun for us. It is time to head home, but our final thoughts on the D810. Before I go on with that, I know, it's been a lot of features that we've been talking about tonight, 10 things that they've improved, and there's a few more than that, but really I think what we're trying to get at is Nikon hasn't really made huge changes with the 810. It's just an evolution of an already fantastic camera. Let's also remember that the D800 was really an amazing camera when it came out. It was such a high megapixel count in a relatively small sensor size for that megapixel count, and in a camera that performed very well for commercial work and portraiture and landscape. And I guess Nikon didn't want to really change that too much. Why mess with success? If the D800 is given 800%, the 810 is giving 810%. It's not a huge improvement. We are getting a few tweaks to low light, which are very welcome. Some handling changes, focusing is a little bit faster, but really it does come down as just a rundown of features. As far as video goes on the 810, yeah, we've got some nice improvements. I do really like that they got rid of the aliasing. The jaggies on the 800 and 800E especially were quite bad. But you gotta remember there's a lot of good competition out there now. GH4s, A7Ss. I mean, if Nikon really wants to compete in the video market as well, this camera kind of feels like what the D800 should be. We should have more features than this. And again, peaking, no advanced codecs, well, anyways, I mean, it's a nice improvement, but it's not going to get to the top of the heap. I mean, that being said, the 810 is a fantastic camera. It is a very, very nice SLR to use overall. And what I do like about it is now you're not really wanting for anything. Huge megapixels if you want it, robustness, compactness, faster focusing, good frame rates, high buffer rate. So this camera is now not specialized like it used to be. It really is an all-around amazing camera. The 810's coming out. Besides, if you want an 800 and 800E, too bad you can't get them anymore. So this is your only choice anyways. Thanks so much for coming to the Stampede with us, folks. We will see you next time.